Hey guys, what's up? Alex Scott here with Consordini.com. Thanks so much for checking out another one of our videos. Today I'm doing another one of these little kind of vlog style videos about some common misconceptions and difficulties that I hear about when talking to a lot of new-coming producers, new engineers, guys who don't have a ton of experience with this stuff yet and are just looking to hone their skills, and they're experimenting and maybe doing some things that aren't super advisable. So I'm just doing a couple of these videos to cover some basic topics. We've talked about compression, we've talked about EQ. Now I want to talk a little bit about more special effects like reverb and delay. So one thing that I see in a ton of sessions that I get from new engineers is either over or underutilizing different things like this, like reverb, like delay, like chorusing. You know, there are some guys out there who kind of get this, so, you know, for one reason or another, get this impression that reverb is like a big, crazy special effect and you should only use if you want a very certain sound, so they don't put reverb on anything at all. And that's one mistake. Or, on the other side, guys who think that everything needs to have reverb, and you go on and they've got reverbs on kick drums and reverbs on bass guitars and stuff like this, because it makes it sound more realistic or richer or fuller or something. And, you know, I find with what I consider to be special effects, things that aren't compression and EQ and limiting and gating and really basic audio tools, all things in moderation. Too much is too much, too little can be too little. So first of all, you know, especially when talking about reverb, there are instruments that we just generally never add reverb to. Things like a kick drum. I can't say ever once in my career I have intentionally put a reverb on a kick drum. Maybe if you're trying to rescue something that was really poorly recorded, you could do that. But even then, you know, reverbs just don't deal well with low frequencies in the first place, and it's just going to muddy things up. Same thing with a bass guitar. A reverb on a bass guitar is going to blur everything together. At least the bass guitar doing a traditional bass part. If it's a solo or something, you know, that's fair game because they're playing really high. But reverbs and low frequencies just generally don't get along. This also will apply to putting reverb on a drum set. If you put a really big, heavy-duty reverb on your drums, you might get a lot of low-end problems. And so it's good to find a reverb that has an option to filter the frequencies that it's reverberating. So, you know, going in and saying, okay, anything below 120 hertz, get rid of. We don't need reverb on that, because that's another thing that's going to muddy up your mix. Another common thing that I see with reverb is, and this especially applies to if you're like a rapper, or you do hip hop or you make beats or stuff like that, I see a lot of underutilization of reverbs on rap and hip hop vocals. So obviously when you're listening to the great rappers of the day, whether it's Jay-Z or Dre or whoever, you don't hear big epic reverbs on their vocals. That wouldn't make any sense. However, what you can do is you can use a reverb in a bit of a different way. So use a really short decay time and put it very low in the mix on that particular vocal. And what that's going to do is not sound like a typical reverb as we think of it. It's going to just add an extra bit of character and dimension to that voice. Same thing with delays. A lot of guys look at delays on vocals as either, oh, echo, 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 this big epic like 80s thing, or they don't use it at all. A delay can be an incredible tool for just creating a little bit of extra texture in a voice, including in rap and hip-hop vocals. I will put them on like hooks and choruses in hip-hop tunes. And again, it's not to create this big repeating ambient thing. It's just a little bit of texture that you feel more than hear. So that's definitely something that you can look at doing. Choruses also, I think, is, you know, chorus is a very underutilized effect because, yeah, when you have the depth set really high and the rate set really high or really fast on a chorus, it becomes this very audible, swirly, crazy thing. But if you use one very gently, they can be amazing at just bringing some stereo width to whatever you're working on. So say an acoustic guitar is a great example. You know, I can take a mono acoustic track that was recorded with one mic, put a gentle chorus on it, and all it does is really just make it a little bit whiter. It doesn't cause this audible swirling effect. It's just there to add a little bit of depth to the stereo field. So if you kind of think about these things all in conjunction and start thinking about things a little bit more in depth, a little bit more intelligently, you'll find that these effects can actually be really, really incredibly useful tools. Another great one, put a very subtle delay on your snare drum. set to a decent, rhythmic, so it's synced with the groove that the kid is playing, with the tempo of the song. And you'll find that suddenly there's just this really cool lushness to your drum kit. You don't want to crank it up and have it be ka, 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 ka. That's too much. But if you have it really low and, and it's just kind of something in the background, it just brings a little bit of texture. But what do you guys think about modulation or kind of special effects like this, like reverb, delay? Do you guys have any tips or tricks? I mean, I know there's a million, and we all have a little bit of different ways of approaching mixing and all this kind of stuff. But any ideas that you guys have that you think would be helpful to other new engineers, definitely stick them in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. But again, my name is Alex Scott with Consordini.com. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and I will see you in the next one.